दिखाते तू और बाजा बजा दे तू, मैदान सजा दे तू, ये खेल दीवानों का।
Hello and welcome back to PSL Reviews after one day's break. My name is Ali Yunus, and before we start the show, I would like all my viewers to pray for Mohammad Amir's mother's illness. He's flown back to Lahore to be with her. My thoughts and prayers are with the family and Mohammad Amir. A little history was made today when Quetta Gladiators met Peshawar Zalmi in Sheikh Zayed Stadium, Abu Dhabi today. All the Quetta Gladiators won convincingly by 6 wickets, but it was a good match to see on such wicket. And on the second match, the Karachi Kings almost demolishing the hopes, if there were any, of Multan Sultan to qualify into the 4. I have with me Mohammad Awais, the former international from Abu Dhabi. Awais, how do you see the first match if I look at that? Was it a 166 wicket?
I mean, looking at the Abu Dhabi wicket, definitely. I mean, it's not an easy job to batten over them, especially for the bowlers. It's really need to grind themselves. I mean, because if you just watch out the bowlers, especially Shinwari, I mean, why was he getting wickets? Because he was trying to hit the deck hard, and you need to hit the deck hard over there to get wickets. Unfortunately, again, that old scenario of Multan Sultan continues up over here, not scoring runs. I mean, they have got some big names with them. I don't know, is it because of not getting the team gelled up still, and not performing up in this kind of a unit? But one thing just worried me about today, anyway, it was that why did not Shahid Khan Afridi play this match? I mean, because this was the match to be played on, because this was a do and die match. You need your big stars to be present in this match. He was there in the practice session. I don't know where was he in this match?
There's a very interesting thing that once on the toss, Shoaib Malik said, I've already packed up one bag. So that showed a lot of things that he's not really taking that match that seriously, that he's already lost, I guess.
See, I mean, in a joke that's something else, but as a captain, I mean, you need to be positive. Yes, I mean, because see, you are basically representing Multan, I mean, the central Punjab, I mean, especially, and if you say this kind of word, definitely the central Punjab people, I mean, the confidence was shattered on. I mean, you need to be 100% confident over here. It's a do and die match. I mean, it's not that you lose this. I mean, you win this match, you still gone back. I mean, if you win this match, you're in the tournament.
Absolutely.
And the way Multan Sultan still they're bowling, I mean, they're really bowling well. I mean, if they can get back into this match, Karachi has got a strong batting unit. I mean, not till down, but they have got a strong batting unit. But still, the Multan Sultan captain, I mean, I'm sorry, he should not have made this.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start with the first match. Peshawar Zalmi took on Quetta Gladiators. I mean, Quetta won the toss, and nothing surprised that they elected to bowl first. They love chasing, don't they?
They love chasing. I mean, if you just watch this tournament, I mean, they have loved chasing. Again, Ali, one thing I'll tell you, I mean, because if you just watch out from the first season of Pakistan Super League, Quetta Gladiators have been a fabulous side. I mean, they have been into the finals. I mean, unfortunately, they have never won the finals. It's because of the combination. It does not carry till the finals or till the semis, I would say. I mean, this combination needs to. I hope so, I mean, because I was listening on that the Pakistan Cricket Board chairman and the security teams over there, they had a meeting with the international players, I mean, to discuss the matters, I mean, the Karachi. So they would be, all of them would be flying to Karachi. It's a good news for Pakistan Super League, even for the franchises too, because Quetta Gladiators always have been, unfortunately, they have been losing because, I mean, the winning combination does not carry to the finals. I mean, they have to change the combination in between. That disturbs the rhythm. I hope so this combination is carried up over there, because especially Shane Watson is a big unit for the Quetta Gladiators. I mean, because he's an all-rounder for them. As an experienced campaigner, even he helps Sarfraz Ahmed, what Kevin Peterson used to do in the first editions. So he's a really big asset for Quetta Gladiators. Even Rosov is a big asset for them. So I hope so this unit is carried to the main tournament.
Right, we'll continue talking about this, but let's look at the top performers of the first match. Good news for Peshawar Zalmi, Kamran Akmal coming to the form at the right time.
Hope so, I mean, because he has been one of the best players in the Pakistan Super League. Unfortunately, this season hasn't been good for him. I mean, in the first match he scored 50, I mean, a good 50 runs. After that, he hasn't been into the double figures. Yes. It was good to watch him up that he's in the 72. I mean, because he's even known as a strong contender to be back in the Pakistan short format.
Right, he scored 72 runs of just 50 balls. He played for 7 fours and 4 sixes. Karen Paul had no surprises there. He's into runs this PSL. He's in a good form in this PSL.
Believe me, I mean, I was shocked why did the West Indies team not call him up over there, because I mean he has been superb form, and the matches what he has won for especially for Peshawar Zalmi are the matches which were almost lost matches. I mean he has been superb with the forms and towering sixes. I remember to Mohammad Irfan, the way they won that match against Multan Sultan.
Absolutely, he's known for the sixes, but here he scored 44 runs, 21 balls with 7 fours and just 1 6. Yeah, and Fletcher, he's a good change, I guess. Having him up top of the order give confidence to Kamran Akmal, also having somebody, a stroke maker with him.
Definitely. I mean, if you remember the World Cup what West Indies won, and he was the one who gave a good flying start to West Indies and won that World Cup. I mean, the World T20 World Cup they won on. So he's a good asset for Peshawar Zalmi, because that eases up the pressure on Kamran Akmal. You need to have someone on the other hand who can go for boundaries, who can rotate the strike, especially who can strike the ball in.
Absolutely. He scored 26 runs, a little slow of his reputation. He took 28 balls with 2 fours and 1 6. Yeah, Mohammad Nawaz, I think he's the best of the spinners we have at the moment, along with Imad Wasim, who bowls good tight line, wicket-to-wicket bowling, and that's very difficult to score runs.
He has been a good asset. I mean, again, I would say unfortunately he hasn't been the permanent part of the Pakistan team, because I mean you got Imad Wasim in the lineup.
Yeah, we have another world-class spinner for Fawad Ahmed, bowled 4 overs, 25 runs, 1 wicket. I think he bowled really well today.
I think one thing I saw in this guy, I mean, he has improved himself. I mean, when he was playing for Australia, he was good. I mean, he represented Australia, but he has improved himself. I mean, he's bowling more tight of a length, just bowling wicket to wicket.
Any surprises here? Shane Watson?
No. You never have a surprise.
Yes, absolutely. He scored 91, amazing run of just 55 balls, 6 4 and 6 6s on a ground like Abu Dhabi. It's a huge ground. And hitting 6 6s.
I get it. I mean, because when you have played over there, I told you, I mean, it's not an easy job to score runs over there, because 1 point you got a Healy kind of a boundary. It's not an easy job to hit boundaries over there.
Absolutely. Yeah, this man, I really like him to be in the runs, because he will be so crucial for Quetta Gladiators when they move to Pakistan, because he will be opening, I believe, instead of Shane Watson.
One thing I'll tell you, I was a little bit confused. I mean, why wasn't he the part of the Quetta Gladiator as a permanent squad, I would say? I mean, they opted up for a youngster, I mean, as an opening department.
Because he was dropped after 2 matches.
He was dropped after 2 matches, I mean, because see, everyone has an eye even on Ahmed Shahzad. He's one of the guy who loves to go. I mean, if he just goes on, everyone loves him to watch.
Right.
So they had to put him in the permanent slot.
Absolutely. Scored 50 runs, 50 crucial runs of just 45 balls with 5 fours. It was very important for him to get runs.
Definitely, I mean, because see, when you don't have a confidence built up, you need to have those runs on the score.
Another emerging players, main goal, I think. The emerging players have really come to the party this season, I guess. He's bowled 4 overs, a little expensive for 34 runs, but got the vital wicket of the opener of Quetta Gladiators.
That's the fruit, I mean, because many of them say even Umaid Asif, I mean, 4 overs, he's the one. I mean, unfortunately he went for runs, but I remember he's the one many of them have been speaking on. The last Pakistan Super League, he was brilliant with the bat and ball. So this one thing is good about the Pakistan Super League, it is giving fruit to you, I mean, because many of them say that with the Pakistan Super League, it's the 4th edition, I mean, you do not get many of the players, I mean, what unfortunately, again, I'm sorry to say about that, the IPL has given to the Indian team. It's an old edition, I mean, they are from such a long period of time, they are giving the fruit to Indian team. This same thing is happening with the Pakistan now over here. You have got the youngsters coming up, you have got the, I would say, and especially the emerging category players, I mean, because I know that we are in find of a batsman still for the Pakistan.
Or a batting
all-rounder, especially the opening batsman again, I would say. But one thing notable about this Pakistan Super League was that we were in find of right-arm pacer, what Shoaib Bhai was known for, what Bokar Bhai was known for. You need someone as a terrible quick, and you have got 4 to 3 pacers coming up. Musa is there, you got Hasnain coming up, the Quetta Gladiators, you got Haris.
You see Mohammad Hasnain, somebody like him replacing Shoaib Akhtar Waqar Bhai sort of, well, he has that thing, he's bowling at 150, I mean, when they were of this age, they were probably not 150, but he is at this age, bowling 150 is amazing.
See, I mean, Oliver, when he goes, I mean, when his age builds up, I mean, definitely his muscle would build, he would bowl more quicker than that.
You could tell that being a fast bowler yourself.
Because, but I'll tell you one thing, it's too early to judge him with Waqar Bhai and Shoaib Bhai.
I mean, just on the right path.
One thing, I mean, again, I'll say, I mean, because I've always been saying one thing in my programs, it's that your under-19 is the main level. We talk about the domestic cricket, your under-19 is the main level. These players, I mean, if they are groomed in the under-19 structure, in the Pakistan A structure, you know why you need to have the mentors like Shoaib Bhai, you need to have the mentors like Waqar Bhai, Wasim Bhai, because a youngster would definitely learn from them that I've got my idol sitting with me. I mean, I need to be like him. I remember being a net bowler for the Pakistan team when they used to tour to Dubai Sports City, playing against different teams. Even for the Australian team, I used to be there. Believe me, bowling with Shoaib Akhtar Braitley used to build my confidence. I'm asking them questions. I mean, and they never argued. I mean, why are you asking questions? They used to love to chat with us. And believe me, looking at them, you learn a lot. I mean, the diet plans, and especially even how do they use the bowling strengths and all that. So that's the way the confidence is built.
We should learn from BCCI. They've got Rahul Dravid.
That's one thing I'll tell you. That the results are showing. That's one thing. That's one thing. Unfortunately, I would say Pakistan. I mean, they need to realize that. I'm really sorry to say that our senior coaches, I mean, the ex-cricketers of Pakistan, they mainly focus on to be the chief selector. They mainly focus to be as a head coach of the Pakistan team. I mean, the real impact is about the under-19s. Why can't you join up the under-19s? I mean, again, I would say there's still time for the Pakistan Cricket Board. They need to realize, see, Mohammad Yusuf, one of the top-class batsmen in the world, I mean, he's free right now. Why can't you get him with the under-19s?
Right.
You got Yunus Bhai, I mean, he's the mentor for Peshawar Zalmi. Why can't you get him in the under-19s? Misbah Bhai is there. As a fast bowler, you got Shoaib Bhai, Waqar Bhai, Wasim Bhai. You have got many of them. I mean, why can't you get them into the under-19s? That's the grooming stage. Unfortunately, the structure in the Pakistan, I mean, they mainly focus on being the heads, I mean, the chief selectors.
Yeah, because that's where the limelight is, I believe. And there's nothing much there, and not even financially, I guess, at that level. So you got to give a little credit to them also that they will.
I give them credit. I mean, see, not having a strong structure, domestic structure, still producing world-class cricketers. I mean, I give them struggle. I definitely back them. I'm not criticizing them, but my personal opinion is that the big names need to be with the under-90s and under-70s. You know why? Because see, a guy, if he's aged 26, 27, you can't go and correct him up. I mean, the bowling action or the batting stance. Under 17, under 19 is the grooming stage where you can correct him up. Unfortunately, you don't have the big names with them who can groom them up. Or again, I would say a mentor or a guy who wants to be a Shoaib Akhtar for you. You don't have them with them, big names with them. You need to get your big names with them so that the guy has the name with that I've got Shoaib Akhtar in the dugout. Hasnain right now is a fast bowler. He's got one of the best minds in the cricketing world. That's Vivid Richards with him. But he was he was a batsman. But still, as a cricketer, he's got the best brain in the lineup. Then you got Haris Rauf sitting up over there. Shoaib Bhai is the mentor for Lahore Qalandars. I personally want Shoaib Bhai to sit with him, talk to him. What Aqib is doing with Lahore Qalandar, I mean, he's one of the biggest names. So they need to groom them up.
Right. Okay, let's get back to the first match of today. Peshawar Zalmi, I mean, they 160 at 166 with such start, they should feel unlucky not to have gone to till 180. Probably this was an 180 wicket today.
The way Peshawar especially started, I personally felt, I mean, they might go to 180, 190 because this wicket, again, I would say you need to, the bowler especially, I mean, they need to grind themselves. Batting is not a tough job over here.
It's a slow bounce.
The ball, I mean, because see, many of them are suited to this kind of, I mean, especially many of them, except the Pakistani cricketers or the guys who have played for West Indies or the Australia, I mean, who have played over there in Abu Dhabi, they know how this pitch reacts on. The new guys, I mean, it would be tough over here, but many of them are from such a long period of time in the Pakistan Super League. In this edition, they know how the wickets are reacting up over here. Abu Dhabi wicket is kind of a slowish wicket where the bounce, it takes time for a batsman to go on the back foot and slash it up. As a fast bowler, you need to hit the deck hard what Usman Khan Shinwari was doing on. Peshawar Zalmi, unfortunately, one thing I'm still confused, why isn't Darren Sammy bowling up over here? As a captain, he needs to up, and because, and I don't know whether is he 100% fit.
No, he has a hamstring problem.
It's not a new hamstring problem for him. It's from such a long period of time. Remember in the previous Pakistan Super League, he won that for them, but he had that hamstring problem for.
I think it's carried on from there because he played much cricket.
I mean, he actually needs to look after him. I mean, it's the Pakistan Super League or the Peshawar Zalmi. It is an asset for him, but still he needs to look after him because he's the captain of them, and whole Pakhtun and especially even the Pakistan have a lot of respect for him. They praise him up, and he's one of the IE stars for the Pakistan Super League.
Right. Okay. This has been a very interesting fact for the match today. In the first power play when Kamran Akmal and Fletcher were playing, and once Fletcher got out, it was the period of 5 overs. They gave away only 4 runs. It was Fawad Ahmed and Mohammad Nawaz was batting. I think that was the key period for Peshawar Zalmi, that they couldn't score runs.
Again, I told you, because this wicket, the spinners will dominate.
And it was not expected that.
It's basically a slowish wicket. I mean, you just need to. See, it's an easy topic. I mean, because even you have played cricket. I mean, if you're not getting help from the wicket, just try to bowl wicket to wicket.
Absolutely.
And what Fawad was doing, if you just watch it in this Pakistan Super League, he has got that variation in the pace. I mean, he tries to just get the batsman, get the ball just wicket to wicket and just deceive the batsman. I mean, just get it in. I mean, in cut especially, I would say. So he has been successful. With Mohammad Nawaz again, he's the same kind of a bowler. Wasn't getting break from the wicket, but just trying to get the ball in for the right-handed batsman. There's where they struggled on Peshawar Zalmi, because the way Kamran Akmal was going on, believe me, I thought this was a 180 to 190, because when he goes on, you know how dangerous he can be.
Absolutely. And once he got out, it was Dan Bravo who just won't let you score with those slower ones and with those cutters.
I mean, one thing is a good addition for Quetta Gladiators, Dan Bravo. I mean, in the middle order, because I mean they had a strong unit in the middle. I mean, because they had Umar Akmal with a good rhythm going on. Unfortunately, in the one match against Lahore, they did not perform. Over here, they had Devan Bravo. I mean, he's one of the best all-rounders in the cricketing world.
Absolutely.
So his asset for the Quetta Gladiators are main over here. I mean, as a batsman, as a bowler, he has been doing a superb job. He hasn't got much in the batting in this Pakistan Super League, I mean, but as a bowler, he has been doing a perfect job. And this kind of wickets, they suit to him because he's got that slower deliveries in it. And it's just not about the fast bowling. You need to have that in-cutters and out-cutters, especially the slower ones in this kind of wickets.
Absolutely. And where Fawad and Mohammad Nawaz restricted Peshawar Zalmi, on the other hand, Peshawar Zalmi dropped the only spinner, the only proper spinner they had, Ibtisam, and he was replaced by another fast bowler. I mean, weren't they reading the wicket right, or they didn't know about
on the lighter note, I mean, Pakistan has that problem not to read the wicket, I mean, because remember the issue of what happened on. But I mean, I don't know what Peshawar Zalmi was actually trying on. Was it that they were trying to just get the new combination over here? I mean, because they've already, I mean, if you just watch it, Peshawar Zalmi, still they have to play a match, but still they have almost qualified for the, I would say, for the playoffs. I mean. So,
if Lahore Qalandar beats them tomorrow, it's going to be
I hope so they beat them. But, I mean, but unfortunately, again, I would say Lahore Qalandar, the major blow is that AB de Villiers won't be the part. I mean, because of his back injury, he's travelling back, and still, if I'm not wrong, they haven't named the replacement of AB de Villiers. I mean,
probably Devachich would play.
I mean, he is in for Taylor. I mean, so who's going to be in for for De Villiers? I mean, that would be a major pick over here. Everyone definitely will be having an eye on that. And if I was reading before this program, it was that the spokesperson of the manager of Lahore Qalandar said that it would be tomorrow we would name who would be replacing David De Villiers. I hope so. It's a big name for them, because they need to have someone who could travel to Pakistan. I mean, and especially it's just not about traveling to Pakistan. A guy who can play on this kind of wickets. I mean, I don't know how Karachi wicket would perform. Will it be a batting track? I mean, because they need, again, I would say the crowd love to watch getting born to sit on. So will it be a batting track over here? But they still need a guy who can bat in this kind of wickets and who can fulfill the place of AB de Villiers, because they have been through many injuries. You have, Taylor is out, you got AB de Villiers out over here, Mohammad Hafiz, the main asset, is out.
I mean, Shaheen Shafeed
is 100% fit, so they are dealing with injuries. They need to have some big name over here, because tomorrow match Peshawar Zalmi isn't going to be coming up easy.
Absolutely. So once Peshawar Zalmi scored 166 runs, it was up to the bowlers, and they had the potential to to win it from there even. But they looked so off color. Even look at Hassan Ali's bowling. They didn't look like in the mood to bowl, and the way he dropped 2 catches. I mean, what do you make of it?
So anyway, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, it's not about the mood again. You know why? Because he has been playing excessive cricket.
Not Hassan Ali, but others.
Even I'm saying, why Ahmed Asif was in his good colours again, I would say. But I personally feel so. I mean, they had to give rest to Hassan Ali. I mean, he has been bowling superbly in this Pakistan Super League because he has been through many criticism that he hasn't been taking regular wickets. I mean, what Hassan Ali was known in the Champions Trophy, he has been good. But actually, again, I would say they need to give your premium fast bowlers rest. I mean, you could have opted out with a new combination, but this was an important match. But that will be the next match. But that misreading that pitch, getting a main spinner out of that match, made a more pressure on the Peshawar Zalmi, because I mean they opted Ahmed Asif to be in. Sameem Gul was there. Sameem Gul even did not look into good colours again. I would say he did get a wicket over here, but what Sameem Gul is known for, even getting a striker wicket, that wasn't seen from Sameem Gul. In the next match, I mean tomorrow against Lahore Qalandar, see, Lahore Qalandar is one team, I mean, because it was down off the table. They came up with a bang. Unfortunately, the match what they lost, the previous match what they lost on, that was a close encounter with Quetta Gladiators. So the other teams, they know what Lahore Qalandar is, but unfortunately that AB factor would be missing up over here. Quetta and Peshawar has that edge of not having AB de Villiers in the squad. But the real thing, again, I would say it's going to be between bat and ball, because Lahore Qalandar has got a good bowling unit if Shaheen Afridi plays on. And Haris Rauf is a brilliant fast bowler, because you need someone in the depth over, especially when Pollard and you got Darren Sammy batting up over there. You need someone in the middle order who can stop the run flow. Pollard is a dangerous batsman. You need to get him early out. If you don't, it's going to be painful for you.
Absolutely. And what do you make of Shane Watson's 91 runs? I mean, he's somebody who can hit you big, who can craft the bowling, who can play ones and twos. He's got everything in him.
See, that's the plus point. I mean, because it's just not that you need to go for boundaries. I mean, you need a player, I mean, who can at least rotate the strike, and that's the main factor over here. Secondly, what I told you in the starting of the program, it's that Kieran Peterson, I mean, as a senior campaigner, as an all-rounder, I mean, because he has played all around the world. Shane Watson is the same thing. He plays all around the world leagues now. I mean, the experience what he counts on, that helps the unit over there. Sarfraz Ahmed, he helps him, Sarfraz Ahmed, in the captaincy. So that's a brilliant asset over here. And as an opener, it's not important to score 50s and 100s in the T20s. It's important to give a good start to the team. I mean, at least, I mean, a start like you can just break the backbone of the fast bowling or the other unit bowling. I mean, you need to give a good start.
And it's not just how much you make runs, it's how you do it. He does it with so much authority. I mean, hitting a six Hassan Ali over the point, if you saw today. I mean, the bowler must have been devastated after that.
See, he's got every shot. I mean, if you try to get him the ball to in, I mean, he's got that cut, a late cut, I would say, I mean, between the extra covers or between the point fielder. He plays so late, I mean. So he's got every kind of a shot. But thing is that, again, I would say, you got, I mean, Quetta Gladiators have qualified for the playoffs. I hope so this squad travels to them, because this squad is a balanced squad for them. If there's something new in it, it would be a problem for them.
But Sarfraz has confirmed that Shane Watson.
I mean, many of them have. I'm still saying that. Many of them have confirmed. All of them have confirmed over here. But the darling of the crowd, AB de Villiers, won't be there, unfortunately, because that's a setback for him, for Lahore, even for the Pakistan Super League. But I was really humbled, the message what he gave to the Pakistan fans, that if he was here, he would have loved to play in front of the Pakistani crowd. And he wants the cricket to be back in Pakistan, and secondly, he wants to be back in the Pakistan Super League in the next edition. That's the positive image for Pakistan.
We hope that too, that he comes to Pakistan next year. And with that, Ahmed Shahzad that scored 52 runs, getting back into the rhythm, and getting probably he would be a good replacement. Shane Watson up the order.
It's a good sign. I mean, you need to have Ahmed Shahzad to getting runs up over here, because many of them had questions about him, because you did not see what Ahmed Shahzad was known when he came back. When he was new in the Pakistan team, he was an aggressive kind of a batsman. I remember he debuted against Australia in Dubai Sports City, and I was there, with him, and he was an aggressive kind of a batsman. I don't know what happened to his batting. He totally changed off. I mean, he wasn't that aggressive.
It looks like that he's gone into that shell that he just doesn't bring that bat out.
Is it? I don't know. I mean, is it that psychological ball was hit on his head? Psychological. It's not that about hitting.
Because after that, remember Anderson, he got hit on his head.
I don't know, man. The team management or the coach, if I'm not wrong, I'm not criticizing them. Has someone spoken to him that you need to change your game plan? Because the game plan what he changed on, that has cost his performance and not being the regular part of the Pakistan team. And secondly, his attitude. I hope so his attitude has solved on, because if you just watch out Umar Akmal and Ahmad Shahzad, they both look different kind of a character. So I hope so.
Right, if you see the live pictures, Karachi has beaten Multan Sultan, no surprises there. I think Livingston playing that sheet anchor role till the end. Yeah, Mickey Arthur would be very relaxed after today, because there was a little hiccup if they had lost this match, you know.
I mean, believe me, I'm sad. I mean, Multan Sultan had to be up over here. Again, I would say it's a big team. I mean, they're representing a big unit. I mean, back in the hometown of Pakistan.
Yeah,
Karachi has done a superb job. I mean, they have been a good unit from last 2 to 3 matches. I hope so. We're seen by Mickey Arthur's the temperament. I mean, what the guys have faced in the dressing room has been
these expressions say it all. I mean, this victory meant a lot for them.
I mean, definitely. I mean, see, because you had to be in the tournament. If you would have not been, definitely it would have been a problem for Multan Sultan. But they have done a superb job as a unit. I mean, they have performed with the bat, with the ball, and not having Mohammad Amir as a key striker ball. Unfortunately, he has to travel to Lahore. But Usman Khan Shinwari, everyone was criticizing him his first performance. He came back with a bang over here.
When I looked at the wicket, the first match, I really thought that it is a Shinwari kind of a wicket, the hard wicket where you run in and hit the deck hard. You know,
this wicket especially, I mean, I would say meant for even for Usman Khan Shinwari, especially even for Hassan Ali too. I mean, because Hassan Ali loves to test the deck. I mean, of the wicket, he loves to hit the deck hard. So you need to hit the deck hard up over here. And Usman Khan Shinwari was all over. I mean, because again, I told you, I mean, not having the key strike fast bowler, having that burden of a wicket taker or a key strike fast bowler, that means a lot to a bowler. He goes into a pressure situation, but he had maintained his pressure situation. He bowled superbly, and that's the point. He took on wickets.
Absolutely. And if we talk about 113, I mean, that sums up the Multan's campaign today.
I mean, they were short of runs again. I would say, I don't know.
So it was 118.
What's wrong with them? I mean, they have been a strong team. I mean, they have got big names with them, but not been performing up. I mean, Russell went off. That costed them up. But still, again, I would say, I don't know why didn't Shahid Khan Afridi play? Because see, whatever it is, I mean, many of them say he's a bowling all-rounder. But his batting, when he's in his colours, I mean, you know how devastating he is. I don't know why was he not in.
And he's just such a big threat to other teams if he's still back there in the if he's batting.
I don't know, I mean, why wasn't he the part of the Pakistan team today? And secondly, I mean, not getting Junaid Khan in, I don't know, I mean, what was going on in the Multan Sultan campaign. Like you mentioned on getting, I mean, Shoaib Malik first only said that we have already packed one back.
So I mean, at that moment I thought like he's not in that mood, even not even in the mood to try to win.
This is not good, I mean, because see, I mean, you had this match, I mean, you had to play this match to win on, I mean, because this was a crucial do or die match for both of the teams, I mean, for Karachi and for Lahore, I mean, for Multan Sultan. So you had to do your 100% job up over here, but unfortunately, again, I would say the Multan Sultan, the franchise owner, not the franchise owner because they just own the franchise, the team management, they got Ian Botha, I mean, Botha with them, one of the biggest names in cricketing world.
Absolutely.
They need to sit down, they need to figure out what mistakes were, what the captain mistakes were, what the team mistakes were. They need to get that on the paper lineup over here, and they need to work for the next year PSL, because in the fractions of time you got the next PSL coming up.
Absolutely.
So you need to prepare for that.
So talking about the captain here, I mean, he made quite a few blunders this PSL. I was not expecting from somebody like Shoaib Malik, who has played so much cricket, and giving such sort of statements like we're packed, or we don't know what the score would be, or making so many changes early on in the team that he never let the team settle. I mean, if you look at the first 5 matches, they had 5 different opening players, and such leagues we have such excellent bowling lineups. It won't be easy for a new opener to come back straight away.
See, that's the thing. If you just watch out the top 3 teams, I mean, Peshawar Zalmi, Lahore Islamabad United and Quetta Gladiators, they went with the same squad. I mean, they just made some one change, I would say. I mean, they didn't change up 3 to 4 players in an innings or in a match, or 2 to 3 players in a match to disturb the combination. They have gone with that. Unfortunately, the combination over here has been disturbed on, and especially I remember when I was speaking to you once that in a match, I mean, I was confused why, what is Shoaib Bhai doing on it? I mean, because see, When Christian came from Australia, he won that big bash over that was a different kind of wicket.
Absolutely.
This is a different kind of a wicket. You can't send him into the position of number 4, 5th position to bat on when you have got two strong batsmen sitting up who are basically ball strikers, Russell and Shahid Khan Afridi sitting up. You're sending him top of them. He does not score many runs. I mean, he wastes deliveries. He goes for singles and doubles. I mean, he's rotating the strike but not going for boundaries. Then you get in Russell and then you get Shahid Khan Afridi. You could have sent Russell up over there. You could have sent Shahid
something out of the box. Something you
need to get a changes. You need to get someone who can accelerate 5 to 6 runs per over to 9 to 10 runs per over. That hasn't been the scenario with them. I mean, even if you just watch him in the field, I mean, he wasn't 100% in the match. I mean, he was down. I mean, I didn't see Shoaib Malik. What Shoaib Malik was known for, batting has been a good one for him, but in the field, I mean, he hasn't.
There are a lot of question marks on his captaincy. With that, let's have a look at the scorecards for the second match. Hamad Azam, I would really like to talk after we have done the score about Hamad Azam, what happened to him. He showed so much promise when he came into the under-19 circle, and we don't know what happened to him. He scored 29 runs today on 30 balls with 2 fours.
I mean, he was an asset, I mean, believe me.
And Shoaib Malik, question marks on his captaincy, but no question mark on his batting. He's the second highest scorer run getter this PSL. He scored today, again, he scored 26 runs of 26 balls with 2 fours. Yes, the pick of the bowlers today, Usman Shinwari. I think he set up the tone early on the way he was hitting the deck and swinging the ball with 4 overs, 15 and 4 wickets.
He's an angry bird. I mean, if you remember when he does not take wickets, I mean, he's under the scrutiny.
Another emerging player, Umar Khan. I mean, he impresses every match he plays. He's improving day by day. And today, if you look at his figures, 4 overs, 24 runs, and 3 wickets.
When he was speaking to Zainab Abbas, and he said that I speak to the senior campaigners. I mean.
And Liam Livingstone scored 53 runs, 42 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. He's been the key for Karachi.
I hope so. I mean, he gets the call for the English team. I mean, because he has been superb in the county circuit and he has been superb in the Pakistan Super League circuit.
Absolutely. So yes, Colin Ingram. It's good to have him score just before the knockouts. He scored 31 runs of 24 balls with 4 fours.
I remember the match what he won, the one-man army again, I would say. I mean, he was...
Okay, so sorry, coming to Mohammad Abbas, do you think he was a good pick in T20 cricket? I mean, he was seaming the ball today.
I mean, a guy who can seam up the ball in the West Indies kind of, where Pakistan played against West Indies, I mean, that was a test match, but still on the dead wickets where he could get the ball to seam up, I mean, why can't he seam up in the other conditions? I mean, he has been a superb bowler for the Pakistan.
Yes, here we look at another impressive youngster, Mohammad Ilyas, who got 3 vital wickets for just 27 runs in 4 wickets. I think he's one for the future too.
He's one of them, I mean, again, I would say if you just watch him bowling up, he's 140 clicks, I mean, 140, 141, and the main thing what I love about him is that he gets the ball to swing in. I mean, he just gets the ball to swing in, every ball to get, it's not an easy job to hit him up. It's not an easy job to cut him towards the third one or the point area. I mean, that's the plus point over here. You have got youngsters coming up from this Pakistan Super League. It's just not Mohammad Ilyas. You got many of them, 5 to 6 youngsters. They need to be looked after, I mean, because they are the main asset for the Pakistan. Again, what I've mentioned, you have been looking after the fast bowler, especially the right-arm fast bowler. Right. You have got left-arm pacers. You don't have the right-arm pacer, what pacer was known for.
Right.
They are your asset. You need to look after them.
Right. With that, we have our caller. We have our first person on the call. Senior cricket commentator Syed Asad Abbas is with us on the phone. Hello, Asad bhai. Right, Asad Abbas, can you hear us, please? I think there is some technical problem with us. Coming back to Hamad Azam, we were talking about. What happened to him after the under-19 region? He scored so well. He was such a key to an under-19 cricket. What happened after that?
He plays for Rawalpindi region again. The main thing, you know what I mean, many of them performed in the under-19 structure for Pakistan, and again I would say that's a topic which never ends up. I mean, you don't look after that players. I mean, they perform in one match, they perform in a series, and they're dropped off. That shatters the confidence. Hamad Azam was one of the assets. Still, I believe he's got that Jones in him. I mean, he's a strong all-rounder for Pakistan. He can be a strong all-rounder for Pakistan if you build him up. Unfortunately, you never build him up. It was that you made him play one match, you played him 2 matches, you drop him off the next series. You get him back to after 3 series, you drop him off again. That shatters the confidence of a player. When you build, how can you build the confidence is that the captain, the coach speaks to the player that you need to score runs. I mean, you're a part of the Pakistan team.
Right. We have online Raja Asad, the senior cricket commentator with us. Hello Asad bhai.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Very well. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Did you see the matches today? What do you make of Multan Sultan's performance today and overall in this PSL?
Overall, I think they were the late entrants, and sort of an uncertainty was there as far as their franchise and owners are concerned, and PCB has to play its role, and then they were coming up. I think individually they have some very good players, but lot has to be desired by their fans. But in the end, they make the exit, and now it's up to Karachi. They will be reaching Karachi, the Karachi Kings, and hopefully they will be making final fours because I believe coming up for Karachi is a good sign as far as PSL is concerned, because they will be playing before their own crowd. They have they would have the facility of having the crowd loyalty with them. So for the success of PSL, I believe that the local name Karachi should be there during the final fours. Today it was a good day for Gladiators and Kings. Before some anxious moment, I believe in the end Karachi Kings finally make it, but they have to go for more consistency as well as their batting power is concerned. They just lose their 5 wickets without any reason, because chasing a very meager total. They have their 4 batsmen out, but still I believe England, he was looking good, so was Livingstone, so he remained out of the 53. Overall a good cricket, but still I believe to the standard of the big team, it was a low scoring match.
Right. And being from Lahore, I would really like to ask, are you disappointed that the matches have been moved to Karachi? I mean, I was really looking forward to the matches in Lahore.
Yes, I was engaged with the cricket commentary, but frankly speaking, I'm not disappointed, because to a certain extent, I believe it's better to have all the matches at the same venue, that is Karachi, because staging the matches at Lahore and Karachi respectively, you need to deploy some security forces, the likes of Rangers, police, and of course the Pak Army, to do different venues. Country is passing through a very critical juncture as far as security is concerned. So it's better to have one major city holding all the 8 matches, the last leg, and that is Karachi. So it's better to have, it will be better for better organization. It would be better for, of course, the Karachiites who have their long history for game of cricket, and of course the food. So it's a cultural hub of Pakistan, and I believe that they will met the provincial government and of course the federal government and PCB. They will inshallah met with a tremendous success by staging all the matches at Karachi.
Right, we hope that too, but just as a fan, the fans of Lahore are really disappointed in terms of if we have lost all that entertainment. Absolutely. And if I ask you what are your top 4 picks for the next round?
As far as performance and the public liking is concerned, I certainly believe that Karachi Kings, Peshawar Zalmi, Quetta Gladiator, and of course, if Lahore deliver, they certainly should be in the final 4.
Right, you're not counting in Islamabad United.
But Islamabad United, the team which is coming up, they are the one who have already 8 points to their credit after playing 8. So they have 2 matches to be played. So it's do or die situation for Islamabad United as well. But as far as lacking is concerned, what I believe, because Lahore should be there for there's some close contest between the traditional rivalry between Karachi and Lahore. So Lahore is naturally is a big name. Islamabad United has a very good record as far as PSL is concerned. So So I think Islamabad United or Lahore is Lahore. So I think that attracting a big crowd means Lahore and Karachi should be there.
Right, thank you so much for joining us, Raja. So we hope that too, that Lahore would make it to the finals, and I would love to see a Lahore-Karachi final. But what do you say?
I mean,
it's a little tough at the moment, but yes.
I mean, like everyone knows that Karachi and Lahore, they're like Pakistan versus India matches. I mean, because the enthusiasm what crowd gets on, I mean, they love to watch Lahore because they both cities are big ones, both have big names in the world, I mean, world cricket and even in the world too. So definitely we would love to watch on, but I personally feel so that it's going to be the top four teams would be Quetta, Peshawar, Islamabad and Lahore.
Like with that, let's have a look at the points table and see what we can do. Yes, no surprises there. It hasn't changed much. Just Lahore Qalandars coming down and Karachi coming up from there, because that's where the match really is.
So, I mean, Karachi has played 8 matches. I mean, most of the teams have played 8 matches except Bulletin. They have played 9 matches. I mean, Lahore just played 7 matches. So Lahore has still got a chance to qualify up over here. And
again, start from the top, like Quetta Gladiators have played 8 matches and they have won 6 out of them, and 2 losses where they batted first.
It could have been third one. I mean, if they could have lost that match against Lahore Qalandars.
Absolutely. Peshawar Zalmi also playing 8 matches with 5 wins. I think they are the second favourite of the tournament with 3 losses and 10 points. Islamabad United are steady at 8 with 4 wins and 4 losses and 8 points. Karachi Kings are winning today, giving them the 4th win out of 8 matches with 4 losses, and they're tied with Islamabad United.
It's going to be, I mean, believe me, it's going to be a battle between these 3 teams, Islamabad, Karachi and Lahore, who opt out for the 4th position. I mean, because looking at Karachi and Islamabad, I mean, they have both same points, I mean, 8-8. And especially losing side, I mean, 4-4, they have lost 4 matches.
If Lahore Qalandars beats Peshawar Zalmi tomorrow, the 3 will be on the same points.
That's the thing. I mean, see, it's one thing matters up over here, because if Lahore beats Peshawar Zalmi, it might jump up to the 4th position. You know why? Because they will be beating at the 2nd top position in the Pakistan Super League. I mean, that's the 2nd holding position, and it depends upon the runs where you get them out on, or depends upon the wickets where how many wickets you won.
It's going to come to the run rate. I think
it's going to come out to the run rate, because if you just watch out Karachi and Lahore run rate, I was getting to watch it in the afternoon program. I saw that Lahore still has got a good run rate as compared to Karachi. I mean, they won that match today, that's something else. But in the afternoon, I mean, the Lahore was having a good run rate to Karachi.
Absolutely.
So it depends upon the run rate how they go on against Peshawar.
And Multan Sultan, I think that's about it for their PSL. For 9 matches, only 2 wins, 7 losses for only 4 points. That sums up their campaign. I think that's it for Multan Sultan.
Again, I would say, I mean, they are packed up. I mean, again, I would say
very disappointing. I mean,
they need to talk to them. I mean, they need to work on the team. I mean, the unfortunate, what Multan Sultan team was in the Pakistan previous Super League, they were a strong unit. I mean, they had that big names in the coaching structure with them. I mean, Tom Moody, they had Wasim Akram. I mean, the team was great one. There was a good gelled up unit. Unfortunately, they started on good. Then in the later on stages matches, I mean, they lost badly, but they were a good team. So they need to think about that. I mean, they need to build up a good team to be back in the next Pakistan Super League edition match in the 5th edition. They need to have a strong unit up and a strong management sitting up.
Right, we hope that too. And with that, that's all we have today. We'll end up with a very sad news. We've just confirmed that Amir has lost his mother. Our condolences from our all PTB world side to Muhammad Amir and his family. May our mother rest in peace, and we look forward to see you tomorrow, same time. Take care till then.